The first piece of legislation that was signed into law by the governor, the newly elected governor, was to declare March 30th as Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day. And so for that, warm round of applause for my hero, Larry Hogan.
Good morning, thank you. Thank you, good morning. Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Colonel Forrest. It really is great to be here with all of you this morning. I'm sorry I have half a voice. I actually feel okay, but I'm going to push it out there so you can hear me. But thank you so much. It's incredible to be here with all of you heroes for this Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans ceremony. First of all, I want to thank Kathy Hamill and her wonderful team at Gilchrist for everything that they've done to put this event together. Let's give them a big round of applause. This is incredible. I also want to thank everyone from Hospice of the Chesapeake and Talbot and Coastal Hospices, all of today's sponsors, Jamie Albin, and everyone else who's worked so hard to make this second annual celebration such a success. When I was looking for leadership for the Maryland Department of Veterans Affairs, I had to look no further than looked to a couple of Vietnam veterans to head that up, and I'm so proud that George Owings, who was a sergeant in the Marine Corps, did three tours in Vietnam, has done an incredible job as the Secretary of the Veterans Affairs. Thank you so much, Secretary Owings. And I know that the Marines are a little outnumbered in this crowd today. And so we also had a Deputy Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Bob Finn, who was a squad leader in the Army's 173rd Airborne Brigade in Vietnam. So thank you. We got a little balance. But it truly is an incredible honor to be here with each and every one of you on behalf of all of the people of Maryland to pay a much-deserved tribute to all of you and all of those who sacrificed so much in service to our nation during the Vietnam War. There are no words adequate enough to express our respect, our gratitude, and our heartfelt appreciation to all of you who served. But let me just start with those two simple words that you did not hear enough when you needed to hear them, when you deserved to hear them. Simple words that can truly never be said enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and welcome home. Thank you to each and every one of the over 130,000 Marylanders who served during the Vietnam War. And we also want to express our appreciation to all of those Vietnam veterans from across the nation. As was mentioned a couple of times, the very first piece of legislation. I came in as a new governor. We had a lot of important things we wanted to get done, but there was a reason that I chose to sign into law as my very first act, very first piece of legislation was the bill to officially, annually establish March 30th as Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day in Maryland. And I'll tell you, it's because all of you deserve. You waited long enough for this recognition. God bless every single one of you. And I want to thank two of our Vietnam veterans, both Secretary Owings and former Senator John Astle, who also served in Vietnam, for bringing this to my attention, working hard to get this piece of legislation done, passed unanimously in both houses, and I want to thank them for their efforts. Senator, thank you very much for your service and for making this a reality. And thank you, Senator. Senator John Astle, everyone. He flew a few helicopters in Vietnam, I can tell you that. And while today is obviously a special day to honor our Vietnam vets, let me just say that we also want to express our appreciation to all of your brothers and sisters who served in other conflicts, and everybody who has, all of your fellow veterans, and for the men and women in uniform and those serving today. And we want to thank all of the families and the loved ones for the incredible sacrifices that they've made as well. Ladies and gentlemen, in spite of all of the things that have sought to divide us in this country, and that still divide us today, we are all brought together by the tremendous respect we hold and the incredible debt that we owe to all of those who have worn the flag of our nation on their arm. All of those who have put themselves in harm's way and who are willing to lay down their lives to protect the rights and the freedoms that we all hold so dear. War is never popular, and the Vietnam War was certainly no exception. But that should never diminish the honorable service and the incredible sacrifice of the brave men and women who served. Far too often, the brave men and women of the Vietnam War, including thousands of our heroes from right here in Maryland, did not receive the thanks, the respect, the appreciation, or the recognition that they wholeheartedly deserved. And decades after our Vietnam veterans hung up their fatigues, often they are still working hard to strengthen our communities, to build up the next generation of leaders, and to advocate for their fellow veterans. In many ways, you have never stopped serving. Your skills, expertise, and character are an invaluable asset to our state. Each and every one of you makes Maryland stronger, and we are going to continue to do everything we possibly can to make sure that our Vietnam vets, and in fact all of our veterans, can continue to live, work, and retire right here in Maryland. We enacted legislation authorizing employers to grant a preference in hiring and promoting veterans and their spouses. Every year that I've been governor, we've pushed the legislature to exempt 100% of your retirement, military retirement income from state taxes. The first year, we were successful in getting the first $10,000 of your income exempted. It wasn't good enough. We came back and pushed again. They increased it by 50% to get your first $15,000 of income exempted. And we have a bill in again the last week of the legislature. We're still pushing. We're not going to stop until 100% of your military retirement is exempted from taxes. You earned it. In January, I was proud to stand with more than 100 of Maryland's heroes as we proclaimed 2019 as the Year of the Veteran. And this year-long observance raises awareness of the brave service and sacrifice of our United States veterans and families that they've made for both Maryland and for our nation. Each of you, all of our Vietnam veterans, and all of our brave military heroes have given more than any of us can ever really know. And while 1,017 Marylanders made the ultimate sacrifice in Vietnam. Countless more, including many of you here this morning, bear visible and invisible wounds that in many cases can never be healed. So today, we remember the immeasurable cost of the Vietnam War, and we are reminded of the immense price of freedom. We also hold on to the knowledge that Maryland's sons and daughters, all of you and all those others from across our nation who served in Vietnam, every single one of you has earned your rightful place among the proud legacy of our American military heritage. Because of the example that you set so many decades ago, we can be certain that when our country is again called to war, that our nation's next generation of warriors will be ready to again answer the call. On behalf of all of the people of our great state, we sincerely thank you for your service to our nation. And I pledge to you today that as long as I am governor, our Vietnam veterans and our entire veteran community will continue to have a true champion in the governor's office. You'll find a sympathetic ear, a seat at the table, and I promise that I will continue to stand up and fight for all of you that have worn the flag of our nation on your arm. Welcome home. Thank you for your service. God bless each and every one of you and your families, and may God continue to bless the great state of Maryland and the United States of America. Thank you.